Sangha. We offer the merit of this service to all beings. I go for refuge to the Buddha, my deeply awakened mind, the living source of understanding and compassion, which must be cultivated to be fully known. I go for refuge to the Dharma, the path of mindful living, leading to healing, joy, and enlightenment, the way of peace, which much must be cultivated to be fully known. I go for refuge to the Sangha, the loving and supportive community of practice, realizing harmony, awareness, and liberation, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I am aware the three jewels are within my heart. I vow to realize them. I vow to understand living beings and their suffering. I vow to cultivate loving kindness and compassion and to practice joy and equanimity. I vow to live simply and sanely, content with few possessions, and to keep my body healthy. I vow to let go of all worry and anxiety in order to be light and free. I am aware that I owe so much to my parents, teachers, friends, and all beings. I vow to be worthy of their trust and to practice wholeheartedly so that understanding and compassion will flower and I can help living beings be free from their suffering. May the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha support my efforts. And I'm going to do the Soto version of the Heart Sutra. The Mahaprajna Hridaya Sutra. Avalokita Bodhisattva, when deeply practicing prajna paramita, clearly saw that all aggregates are empty and thus relieved all suffering. Shariputra, form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. Sensations, perceptions, formations, and consciousness are also like this. Shariputra, all dharmas are marked with emptiness. They neither arise nor cease, are neither defiled nor pure, neither increase nor decrease. Therefore, given emptiness, there is no form, no sensation, no perception, no formation, no concentration, no eyes, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no form, no mind, no sight, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind, no realm of sight, and so forth down to no realm of mind consciousness. There is neither ignorance nor extinction of ignorance, neither old age and death nor extinction of old age and death, no path, no knowledge, no sensation, no attainment, with nothing to attain. A bodhisattva relies on prajna paramita, and thus the mind is without hindrance. Without hindrance there is no fear. Far beyond all inverted views, one realizes nirvana. All Buddhas of past, present, and future rely on prajna paramita and thereby attain unsurpassed complete wisdom and enlightenment. Therefore know the prajna paramita as the great miraculous mantra, the great bright mantra, the supreme mantra, the incomparable mantra which removes all suffering and is true, not false. Therefore we proclaim the prajna paramita mantra, the mantra that says Gate, gate, para samgate, bodhiswav. Good morning. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in this morning. Hopefully, I will learn your version of the Heart Sutra. I do not know the tune of it well enough to chant by myself, so you're able to have some Japanese Soto Zen chanting there. And I have to use my own translation, otherwise I'll get lost. I wish to thank my tech staff here today, making all this possible, Jacob and Kent. Thank you. And I hope I will say something that is beneficial to you And if not, as we say, please wash out your ears with the water of the Dharma. Autumn is in the air, and this week, and the leaves are turning. My tomatoes plants froze. And I was going to talk about the changing of seasons, but then a few days ago, I received a letter from a student of mine, Kyogen. Kyogen was ordained as a priest a few years ago in prison. He does his practice at He does his practice in prison as a life without parole inmate. He has been in the prison system, a very dysfunctional prison system, since he was age 18. That's about 15 or 20 years, maybe a little more. I keep forgetting how old he is. He's in a rather small prison. About 150 other people live there with him. And right now there are 35 people with COVID. They have not had any visitors since March. And about half that time they've been in complete lockdown. No visitors, not spending any time with anyone else. Food is brought to your cell. Recreation is only done individually with it all. So that means no internet, no cable TV, or any interactions with others. And for him, that also means no work and no pay. In his letter last week, he said that living there was kind of like the Lotus Sutra parable about the burning house. I'll give you a quick paraphrase of the burning house parable. Kids are in a house, the house catches on fire, they're playing games. Dad comes home, sees the house is on fire, tells the kids, get out of the house, it's on fire. The kids are so busy playing the games, they ignore him. So he says, I know, I'll trick you. He says, I bought you a great present, come outside and look. So the kids all run out. There's no present there, but the kids are out of the house, it's safe. The kids are saved. You can read the whole story because it's in Lotus Sutra fashion. It's a beautiful story. Well, when I read that first, I thought, Kyogen, you're way off base. No way are you in a burning house that you could leave, but you don't want to. And I had such a visceral reaction of, you are totally wrong, that I thought, okay, when I get that type of you're wrong reaction, it means I need to sit down and look at why I have such a reaction. I know myself enough to know that I need to look at whatever it is again that's bothering me that much. One teaching of the parable, I say the most common teaching, is that we're so busy with things that we like, that we think will make us happy, such as a good job that pays big bucks, the right spouse, the right home, a good car, blah, blah, blah. We're so interested in that we miss what is truly going to make us happy. So your dad has to come and trick you into dropping all those things that you think are going to make you happy to show you what truly is going to make you happy. That's a real surface way of looking at the parable. Then there's always a deeper way of looking at any Buddhist teachings. Kyogen is looking at this parable and where he lives and how he's living right now in a very deep way of looking at this burning house parable. He is definitely in a burning house. We all are at this point. And there's no real way out. You could say he's just playing his games. He's doing his deep work of cleansing his karma for past actions. And he's also teaching other people in his facility how to live the Bodhisattva way. Kyogen does a great job of practicing gratitude in his life. He's written extensively about how good he has it there. He has food, clothing, a warm bed. He has a job he loves. He's the assistant chaplain. So he gets to hang out in the chapel all day, helping other people with their services, keeping track of the library. He orders books. He looks at his life as, I have a good life. And he also does weekly meditation and services for the other prisoners. He has between 3 and 8 people that go in and out of his system. And occasionally he'll have guards that will sit in just to listen what this guy has to say. He has only left the prison once since he was 18. And that is to go from one prison to another. He was transferred about 15 years ago. Other than that, he has never stepped foot outside of the prison. And in his eyes, that's a good thing, because the only time you go out is when you go to court, which is usually not good, or when you have a severe health issue and has to go to a hospital. So it's like, as long as I stay here, it means I'm healthy enough I don't have to go to the hospital. Then you add the virus and the lockdown. He can either complain, sitting in his burning house, being consumed by the flames of resentment, jealousy, anger, loneliness, this all-around poor me syndrome. Or he can look to the teachings of Buddha and saying, what can I take out of the teachings that will help me now? What can my figurative father bring me to this burning house to get me out of the burning house? What he does is he goes back to the Four Noble Truths, that basic simplicity of, we're all human, so we all have discomfort in our lives, and there's an end to this discomfort, whatever it might be. And the way to end that discomfort is to stop clinging to our desires. This is the fact of the way of saying, the house is on fire, leave it now. And just we're all saying, and when we're told that, so many of us have this idea of just saying, oh, just after I finish this game, just after I finish this chapter. And what this parable is saying, now, leave it now. So, Kyogen is sitting in a cell. He does have a TV that gets 2 channels. He's allowed 10 books. And he has his altar. He sits and meditates in his altar, and he reads one of his 10 books he's allowed in his cell. And he has the Four Noble Truths. To be human is not to be at ease. To end suffering, we cannot cling to our distractions. And there's an end to the state of discomfort, and it's the Eightfold Path. How do we do that? Yes, the Clarinda Correctional Facility is a burning house. And Kyogen is sitting there playing his games. But in a sense, we are all in that same burning house. We're in our own prisons, our own burning houses, and we can sit here and say, there's nothing we can do. The whole world is a burning house right now, and there's no outside. We can't leave. So it boils down to what each of us are going to do with their own burning house. How can we end our suffering right now? And I don't want to minimize that people are truly suffering right now. People are dying. Our forests are burning. Innocent people are getting gunned down for no reason. Kyogen is in an unfair prison system with no immediate release date. But, and it's a big but here, if somehow we can find peace right now in where we are, if somehow we can drop our fears and release the greed, anger, and delusion, if we can drop our clinging, our suffering will decrease. And a personal note here, I know I myself, as long as I feel like I am stuck in this burning house, I can't do anything. I have to stop this intense woe is me feeling before I can go out of the house and do anything else to fulfill my bodhisattva vows of free all people from suffering. Kyogen can't sit and wish to be released, but he does everything he can to make that burning house a peaceful and compassionate home free from suffering. And that's kind of what we're all doing right now, is what can we do to make our burning houses a compassionate home? Let's see. I'd like to close with a poem that I have always associated with this parable. How to Paint a Bird by Jacques Prévert. First I paint a cage with an open door. Then I paint something pretty, something simple, something beautiful, something useful for the bird. Then I paint the canvas against it. Then I place the canvas against a tree, in a garden, in a wood, or in a forest. Then I hide myself behind a tree without speaking. Go in peace. Now let's do a short meditation. For all unskilled action ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thoughts, I now atone for them all. The vast is a robe of compassion, a formless field of benefaction. I wear the Buddha's teaching for the benefit of all beings. Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha's way is inexhaustible. I vow to realize it.